can talk about it.
Thank you, Anbu. When I requested you to make this presentation, I didn't expect that you will have such a science behind this whole thing. Wow, it's amazing what you have done. No wonder your slides look so beautiful. Now I have a question, right? I'm always interested in how do I get started. So what would you recommend as a small project that we can all do?
One thing is on the font aspect, Sukumar. Fonts will be the first thing that we can, I mean, that will actually, that's a basic thing that we can start. The pictures and other things, I mean, we can always, because we are used to, we tend to make our presentation, we type in, we make the, whatever. In this particular one, right, Sukumar, I mean, using the fonts, right, I mean, what we can do is that any text that you have in your slide, just try to use this particular example. That's very easy for us to do it. Because trying to find a picture, appropriate picture, I mean, that will take a lot of time in our MVP terminology. So
let's say I have so Anbu, I have an idea.
Yes,
will bring up. Can I bring up one slide and you can give some suggestions on whatever comes to your mind, right? Like 1 or 2 tips around how that we can apply whatever you told.
Sure. Kumaran. Type in our MVP terminology. So
let's say I have a slide like this. What can be just a couple of things?
Okay, so here, Kumaran, like, see now in the driving digital transformation, right? So like, yeah, that's kind of fine. Now maybe this particular image, right? This may not be this icon. I mean, I know like all the icons are of same size. You had a uniformity in there, but here driving digital transformation, we can change that image. That would be one.
So Kumaran, just curious, did you use the automated design ideas for this slide?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Okay.
Like Kumaran, let him finish the tips and then we can do the fixing.
So yes, I had yes, Sudhar, because see one thing in the design ideas, right? Design ideas that PowerPoint presents. I use only one design idea, which is I just take the picture and then copy into the slide, and then expanding it to fill the slide, fill the entire slide. That's the only design idea I use, because what happens is that, yeah, I mean, the design ideas that are given by PPT, they help us, but not for if you're looking to make a little more impact, right? You have to just have your own consistency, because everyone is using them. I mean, and these are all simple. It's not like see all these things that we have I have made. They are all like simple ones only. Not like spent for this entire presentation, creating this entire presentation. I made like 2 hours. I spent like 2 hours to create this. Okay. Yeah, probably over a period of time we will get to this speed. Otherwise, it might just take 3 hours, and then from 3 hours to 2 hours we will be able to come. But anyway, we are spending 2 hours in creating our PPTs. All we have to do is just spend that extra half an hour to correct this, make these small changes, which will make a better impact.
So, Anbu, I'll just quickly tell you the reason why the PowerPoint design idea feature was God-centric. Okay, so I'll quickly share my screen to show you. This is how my slides used to look like before. Okay. So this is all my all my slides that I prepared before.
Okay.
The only thing I do is like whenever I have code, I make sure that it's not an image. I actually copy the code and paste it here, so that whenever somebody is referencing the slides, they can actually copy the code and it. Okay. So one of the latest slides that I prepared looks like this.
Using the Microsoft design.
Yeah. So I'll keep this as a reference. I'll show you how the recent one looks. Yeah. So this is the recent one that I did. Okay. And
very nice.
This was just using design ideas.
Yes.
Okay. And again, one thing that I was conscious was like the color palette was not consistent across the slides, but at least like this is what I was
like
actually
little eye catchy. But the thing is that like I mean, if you want your slides to be kind of standing out, right, or in terms of little unique, then see, once you decide on 3 or 4 colors and then 4 or 5 different fonts, that's all you need, and then you will be able to make great presentation. Because see, we are not going to be using like there are like I don't know, maybe thousands or 10,000s fonts, or even like lakhs of different fonts will be there. But all we would be interested in like maybe a couple of sans serif fonts, and then 6 or 7 or like sorry, 2 or 3 serif fonts, and then 6 or 7 sans serif. With those things, we'll be able to create a better slides. Okay. And then colors also, when you have say 3 or 4, see for example tiny magic, right, we have this purple is there, we have blue is there, right? So all those things, and we can always bring in this consistency to our the slides that are actually presented across the audiences. So these colors we use. And again, using this purple in white and using the purple and black, we have to look at the contrast actually. So which stands out? We have to make sure that the contrast is there, so that the readability is better. So typically, instead of using a purple color text, what we can use that I mean, white is always standard, right? White we can make it in the black background, and give all the accents that we give, say underline or some kind of a quotes. Those things can be in this purple color. So that way, the design consistency also is there for our presentations. And the fonts also. Now we have like 6 or 7 fonts only I use typically in all my presentations. There is a font called Impact, and League, Spartan, and see, the Arial I will not use. Normally Arial is it's there. I mean, it is for the text that we read, right? But for the presentation, I use these other ones, which has a little the thickness. I don't know what they call it as the thickness of the fonts, right? They are a little bigger. So that
Where is the
like both the companies that I worked earlier, right? So both Yahoo and Dana, they used to have something called a template, okay, which we can use. So this is an example of a template that was created by Yahoo. So what they do is basically, so Yahoo has some, or used to have some colors like the purple things and things like that, right? So they used to have these colors. They will give this as a template. So we would have a couple of templates that we can pick up and then just quickly write things. Okay, so this is at Yahoo. Tenor also has a similar thing. So what they do is like they have a template like this. I think they have 2 templates. One is a dark and the light. So this I think is the light template. So you would get these things across the top, header, footer, like the color palette and things like that. And then there would be a couple of slide templates. So this I think is like a normal bulleted list. But then there would also be an image and things like that. So basically the idea is like if a lot of people are actually doing presentation across the company, there is some consistency on the color palette, especially if the color is like associated with the company branding. So maybe
that's a good idea.
Maybe we could think about doing something, or maybe Anwar's another point.
No, I mean, there is another thing I forgot to add to the just don't do it kind of thing. No bullets at all. I mean, at least bullets is a no-no for our presentations. No, see, I think I mean, initially I was also having a lot of problem in the initial the EQ presentation. I used to have like 3 or 4 bullets, but the more and more this concept, no, I should not use bullets. Then you start thinking a little bit visually, right? Okay, so how do I make it? How do I convey this particular point without using the bullet? And then, I mean, yeah, sometimes I ended up like creating 3 slides for 3 different points. But again, the points were clearly communicated. The people, the stickiness of this idea has increased because of that. Now, I mean, this is
fundamental thinking, right? We always say there's a mindset and a method. The problem is we tend to think PowerPoint as a document.
Correct.
That is a mindset issue. Once we get that, a lot of other things fall into place.
Yes.
It is not
Very
a
true.
document to convey information. It is a visual aid tool. I think if we get that mindset thing, it helps.
Yeah. So there is a, I know there is the author of the book Slideology. She has another book also called Resonate. Okay, Resonate is actually more of how do you convey your ideas through visual, visual storytelling. That's the topic of the book. That's also a very interesting book. I'll also send the list of
Very
this
much
book.
avoid is
Because since
trying to just read from the slides, right? I see that as a rookie mistake that pretty much everybody does. Like whenever they're just getting started with doing a presentation, that's like the first thing that they do, right? Put in all the things on the slide and like huge blocks of text, and then just read that when they're giving the presentation. I quickly realized that that's not working, so I've started condensing that into bullet points, but and then over a period of time just had like one slide which has just the topic or idea, and then like started talking about it more. But I think like that's something like an evolution that you experience yourself, and then
that is true, Sudhar. That is true because see the reason one thing like I used to do that like you put all these points so that I don't forget like and I to not to cover. Okay, but later on like the point is like I mean we have the PowerPoint has the option to put the slide notes and all those things when you're near the presentation. So just move all the extra text to the notes section and then again like couple of times you present it, I mean you know what you're covering also.
yeah.
So
Also,
that's why I think when so Kumaran was mentioning it, when you shift this thinking from okay what is that I want to cover, so basically the points will get here instead of into the slides, and the image or the text that you have on the slide should actually have that kind of association with your uh, points in your mind.
so one another as Kumaran used to say, right? Another contradicting point to this. I'm not saying like we should do this, but this is something that I've also seen happening. Is that whenever you're giving a presentation, right? Not everybody is actually able to attend your session at that point in time, or like they attended it, but they need a refresher or something like that, right? So these slides also become like a resource that people come and refer to at a later point in time. One thing that I've also realized is like if I start only putting the topics or things like basically like if I go to the extreme of making this just as my visual aid, then these slides don't have any value after the session, because if somebody missed the session and there's no video of the session but they just want to look at the slides, they're not going to get anything out of it. So one thing that I've done, which also like kind of help people who are missing out on the session, but also want to get something out of the slides, is like you can put all the things that you want to cover in the notes section. That would do two things. One is like it would help you when you are actually presenting, especially if the presentation setup has like that secondary screen where you can read the notes for yourself. This other important point is like if you're sharing these slides with people who have missed your session, they can at least like get something out of it by reading this. Like I think that possibly maybe like I do only mostly technical presentations at meetups and things like that. So this is probably a use case that is applicable only for me, but not for general corporate business presentations. I don't know, but that's another point.
No, that is true, Sudhar. I mean, because see, typically, like in the conferences where you people present and then they want some notes and all, you always have the they call it as a leave behinds, right? On the handouts or leave behinds, and those things will be there. So we have to. I mean, if it is focusing on too heavy on subjects, right? Subjects like any technical things and all, you want to make sure that the audience has something to carry back, then we have to give them the kind of handout. See, these presentations, now when you just grab, and even if you take a printout of the notes, right, it'll be too small to read. I mean, I know like many of the sessions or the training programs that I have attended, people used to give this notes. I'm sure like only 10-15% of the people would really be going back and then referring those things. Okay. Now Sukumar shares all his presentations. Kumaran shares all his presentations to this the transformer sessions like that are happening. Right. That's a very great thing, because here the difference is like you talk about an idea, you talk about and then these presentations will. I mean, people who attend the session, right, attend the session in full attention mode. So they will be able to easily relate to this. Now, because we are not looking at any technical concepts and all, right? So concepts and some kind of a definitions for those things. As you said, like if it is a technical thing, definitely we need to create a separate document to be given to the participants or shared to the participants to use and all those.
Because usually people give like how you have color combinations, these two colors go together, these three colors go together. Likewise, you also have a combination of fonts which go together, and certain combinations are a no. I get very confused on which combination to choose. That's why I asked this question.
Okay, no, for presentations, we should definitely avoid, okay, I said like Comic Sans, but anything, the scripts, right? I mean, you see the script, unless they are part of a logo, you avoid all the scripts and the decorative fonts that come along. I mean, then when you just look at it, even in our Microsoft and all those things will be there. You avoid those things. Use something that that has like enough tracking between this letters, and again, I mean, it should not be like too wide also, because that will be again it will look like very loose. And scripts should be avoided. I mean, stick with serif and then sans serif, then we should be good. And in fact, Sukumar, I mean, Keynote has a lot of the presentation effect, but anyway, I mean, too many effects also will not be good in terms of the audience. I mean, creating a wrong effect to the audience also. The Keynote has fantastic options compared to PowerPoint. Sure.
Thank you so much. Please give a round of applause to Anbu.
Excellent,
Thank you.
Andre. I didn't know you were so talented in terms of this.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah,
So
very good.
I was expecting you were going to say, okay, go pictures here, put font here. I didn't realize you were going to take us through an entire science of how to make beautiful slides. It's brilliant.
Thank you, Sukumar. Thank you.
No, the